I'm gonna die. I'm not your witness, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
All right, try number 3. Hello, everyone. This is Jim. I thought I would just walk you through how I edit a YouTube video from beginning to end. And like I said, I've tried twice already, and I've tried doing the screen recorder, and it just slows down my laptop too much, so I switched over to a regular camera on a tripod. All right, we'll see if this works. Anyway, let's see. So if I'm doing something I'm self-taught. So if I'm doing something all wrong, or there's a way I could probably do it better, let me know in the comments. And if you learned something by watching this, also let me know. First thing we'll do is open up. I use CyberLink Power Director 15. There's a few upgrades available, but this does everything I need, so no need. And there's a lot better video editing software out there. But I don't like the subscriptions, and this one is just pay for it once and you've got it. Let's see. Okay, so it imports. It auto imports a bunch of stock photo and video. So what I will do is hold down Shift and click on all of them, and then right click and remove from library. Gone. Nice clean work area. All right, so I'm gonna import in what I'm gonna be working on. So first thing is the actual raw footage. All right, we shot this, oh gosh, about a month ago, and I'm just now getting to it. This is it looks like my co-host Chris with Mark Woolsey. He's a Reformed Episcopalian, and the length on that is 28 minutes and 47 seconds. So we'll see how long this takes us. Once we're done editing, it might be about 25 minutes or less. All right, so not just the footage, now we're gonna need intro. So I've got a little folder full of all the intros. I just picked one that I haven't done in a while. I've done all those pretty recently. Yeah, shoot. Let's go Anthony Magnabosco. All right, so I haven't messed with this. This is raw footage that he sent me. It's got about 5 different intros on it. So I'm gonna have to cut that one up before I use it. Also, I'll do this intro. I always add another one of our own. And then you'll see why later, but just some standard logos that I'm pretty sure I'll end up using, at least some of these. Drag those in, and screw it, we'll drag all these in. Definitely won't use all these though. All right. So we'll start with Anthony first. We're going to drag him down to track 2, and you'll see why we're using track 2 later. All right, let's just see what we got here. Check the volume. Okay, volume. All right, here we go.
Fighting cicadas, wind, and some workers with Ching, Atheist Edge.
We'll just find one.
Jim Hall, Courtney, Atheist Edge. Slowing down. Anthony Magnabosco.
Okay, we'll use that one. So what I'm going to do is, can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, down here, you can zoom in or zoom out. I'm going to zoom oh, that's good enough. Zoom in enough this is where Anthony starts talking, so we want to cut it right about there. That's where I think he starts saying this, hello, he starts his thing. So I'm gonna left click on it to highlight it, and then use the split tool right here to cut it. Then right click on the part I don't want, remove, and fill gap. That pulls it all the way back over to the front.
Anthony Magnabosco here, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
Okay, we'll stop it right there. Highlight it, clip it, get rid of all this. This intro is done. Is that the intro? No. That's a JPEG. Where's the other intro? I know I had it. Oh, right here. Okay. So this one's already produced. We've used it before, so it's fire and forget. We can just throw it in there. Now you see down here in the audio, Anthony's audio is way lower than the audio for this. So we're going to have to normalize all this. Once we pull in, here's the raw footage. Okay, that's everything we'll be playing with. Now, see how three different, all the audio levels are, they vary wildly. So we'll go back over to the front. And Thomas Westbrook taught me this about normalizing audio. And he says to normalize everything at a 3. That's ideal, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple years. Oh, gosh. Okay. I tell you what I did. All right, so what I do here is go to Audio Mixing Room. And so audio 2, that means track 2 right here. So that's all the audio for this. And I brought it up to about a 3. Then I'm going to normalize. It takes a minute to think. Oh, that's faster than, oh, there we go. And that'll just get all the audio roughly the same volume for the entire video. Sometimes I forget and I'll get a comment. Oh, thanks for blowing out my eardrums because the intro can be really loud. All right, back to the regular media room. We'll see what we got so far.
Anthony Magnabosco here, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
Sure, I need some.
Okay, so 2 things. At the end of this one, I was using fade out to do that right here in transition room. You can drag this fade and overlap both. You can double click on it and you can make this video and this video kind of overlap each other. And it does, you can do sound and audio or just one or the other, or you can make them separate like this. We'll do this one so they're not overlapping. And then see, it messes with the audio. So I click over here and then right click just the audio and remove it. So it's just the fade, the video fade. So this is what that would look like. See, kind of, it blends it smoothly. Courtney hates it. She likes hard cuts. She says the blending is too, like, years ago and no one's doing it anymore, but that's just to show you. All right, so the other thing is, before and after we get to the meat of the subject here, there's a lot of banter. Sometimes cameras are already rolling lights and we're still setting up some levels. So there's a lot of this will get cut out. If it's funny or if it's interesting, a lot of it, I like to do outtakes. So hopefully we'll just listen to this a little bit and we will see if there's anything worth saving to put in outtakes so then I can show you how that's done.
Silence. I mean, there were people talking. I want to just kind of gather what I'm.
It's 11.
This is, I'm not going to get any louder than this.
Thinking and then kind of put it in order and then.
Here's the deal. I don't care how long you take. Take as long as you need, Mark.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's all right. Okay. Give me just a organize my thoughts. I think I know where I want to go on that.
Hi, welcome back to Atheist
Okay.
Edge.
So there's nothing really to put in the outtakes. That's unfortunate. Anyway, if there were, let's say all this was funny banter or something that I wanted to save for outtakes. I'm going to cut it right here where Chris starts his introduction. And let's say this was something good. I right click on it and instead of removing it and pulling everything to the left, you can cut it and it fills the gap. And then you just paste it in. I'll just do it. Cut and fill gap. So now that's gone. And then you drag it all the way to the end of the video and you would just click up here somewhere on the timeline, right click on that track and paste it in. And so that goes in there anyway. I'll leave it here for now, but let's see what we got. Okay. Let's see how that transition looks.
Hi, welcome back.
Oh, here's the wife.
Nothing.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Wow, 3 years. It's the first time your voice has ever been on our show. Is that all you want to say? Oh, now she's getting scared. Oh, she's running away. Okay. Let's see. How did that sound?
Hi, welcome back to Atheist Edge. We are joined.
Okay, that transition looks good. But this, that shows, I don't know. I think I might zoom in a little more, but this time I'm not going to, because I think Mark's cross, it would get cut out, and I think that's something that would probably need to stay in there. It's part of his official dress. Let's see. So we'll leave we won't zoom in. So what we're going to do now is chroma key. Let's get rid of all that green. So what I do is try to pick the lightest background for now. You don't have to keep it, but always pick a light background. Drag it in, and that's why we put all this on track 2. Now we're going to put the background. The rule of thumb is the lower the track number, the farther in the back it is. So sometimes if I'm doing 5 tracks, now I got to keep track of what is in front of what, and it gets crazy. But we're only going to be using 2 tracks today. So that's it. That's the Atheist Edge logo, but it's behind the green screen right now. So now we're going to get rid of the green so you can see it. So what we will do is double click on the raw footage. Scroll down to chroma key, enable it, eyedropper, and pick an area close to one of the subjects. Not the brightest area, but something pretty bright. Something about like that. All right, now it's time to play around with it. And this is where, if you've ever seen any of our, especially the earlier videos, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and it was really bad. And sometimes it still is really bad. And a lot of it can't be avoided because when you're recording, sometimes you don't realize it, but the lighting is not perfect, or they are too close to the green screen. That's a big problem. Always make sure you're at least a couple feet away from the green screen, like forward of the green screen. All right, so we just play with these until we make it all go away. And it just takes time, a little patience. You got to go back and forth and kind of play with it. And I know that's going to be taken out of Math Pig. Do not take what I say. Don't the back and forth and play with it. Don't turn that into a video. Math Pig loves to take my stuff out of context and make a funny video out of it. It's goddamn hilarious. Oh, okay, here we go. Now we're getting close. But you want to go too far, because look at Chris's left shoulder. See? His whole shoulder just disappeared. So you got to keep the subjects in there. You don't want them to pixelate out. See, Mark's left shoulder just disappeared. There we go. Oh man, that's as good as it gets, huh? I thought it would be better than this. I don't want too much hue tolerance, because that can be bad later. All right, that'll have to work for now. We can always mess with it later. All right, so that's that. Now left click on the background and kind of size it up, just like any crop tool or paint tool. You can reposition it and change the size, get it where you want it. All right, that's good. Now, let's see. I don't like to see that. Dark, it's nasty. You know what? If it's later on in the video, I'll tolerate that. But a lot of people, if you're new to our channel and you come upon it and you see this bad production quality right off at the beginning of the video, it can turn them off. So even though I used the light color to chroma key, now I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm just going to put in a darker one that I know is going to look a little better right off the top. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. And you don't want I don't want the backgrounds to last more than like 2 minutes at the most. I'll put it at 2 minutes for now, but I'll change it up later. It's more entertaining when the background changes periodically. And depending on what these two are going to be talking about, I might need to go and pull up some graphics, and hopefully they say something and we use a graphic for that. I'll show you how to avoid a copyright strike and how to find stuff on the internet that is royalty free, free to use or share. All right, let's see how that looks.
Hi, welcome back to Atheist Edge. We are joined today by Mark Woolsey, friend of the show. We've had him on before in response to...
Okay, here's the deal. I've listened to this whole thing when I recorded it. Now I'm going to be listening to the whole thing several times in bursts. And then I'm going to be listening to it a final time during the premiere, when it premieres, when I'm interacting with the viewers in the live chat. So every video I've seen roughly at least 5 times, or probably more. So a lot of times, okay, this is 30 minutes long. If I can remember where things need to get cut out, I'll go right to it. This one, I don't really remember even what they talked about. So I'm kind of going to have to watch the whole thing, but I kind of hit it in wave tops. So you'll see me skipping around. I just want to make sure there was, you know, what you really need to watch out for is like if Mark says something that he doesn't want to go into the final cut, right? Sometimes a guest will say something like, oh, could you not put that in there? I accidentally said someone's real name, or I accidentally said an address, or I didn't like the way that came out, or can I say it again, you know? So you have to be really careful of that. If they don't want it on there, you're going to have to be cognizant of that and make sure that goes out. And then anything else like dead air, or if one of them needs to go to the restroom, anything could happen. So, but I'm going to just try to skip around.
Job, interested to get another perspective on it, and wanted to do the same with a recent video we did about Hosea. And we want to do a show on Hosea because from the outside looking in, and also for me personally as a former Christian now going back.
That's weird. Okay, because I sat with Mark and we talked about his reaction to our Book of Hosea interview. Oh, no. Oh, no, that was Song of Songs. Okay, I see what Chris is doing. All right, here we go.
Looking at some of this stuff with fresh eyes. It's a really weird story.
You just read past it.
Well, as a believer, you just kind of accept some things, that they are the way they are. You don't, one, where it's us just getting across the book of Hosea, nation of Israel.
What I want to say is that...
Okay, here's where I could throw in a graphic, maybe Book of Hosea. If I can't find a good royalty-free graphic for Book of Hosea, then I will just do a generic Bible. So we'll go to Google. Let's see.
How much longer, Joe?
Maybe an hour, 2.
Okay, well,
All right, where was I? Let's see. Crack open our fresh Baileys. All right, we're going to look for graphic. Oh, Book of Hosea. All right, so Book of Hosea. So I go to images. All right, before I even start, now that's a good one. That's a good one. But that might be, you can get a copyright claim if you use any. All right, so it's day 2, and this is as loud as I'm going to be able to talk, because the only time to record these is when the house is quiet. Anyway, where were we? Let's see. Okay, I think we were, checking the volume again.
Weird things looking back on it is because it seems, one, where it's ostensibly a...
Okay, so what we were doing is we're going to add a Book of Hosea graphic right here. I think I still have that up. There it is. Okay, so anyway, like, I would like to use one of these too, but these might be copyright protected. So what you do is go to settings right here, advanced search, down to at usage rights, click on that, and if you do free to share even commercially, that's what you're supposed to do. I found that it's fairly safe to just use the one to use used free to use or share. You're not technically supposed to, you're supposed to go to commercially too, but you can't find good stuff there. So free to use and share. That's a decent one. You can't tell that it's Book of Hosea though, but it looks like that's the best one. We'll just use this. Now look at the how big is it? See, it's 1024 by 768. That's a good resolution when it blows up. If it's like 200 by something, it might get blurry in the background, but this will work. So save image. I save all my graphics and video clips and anything I use in a video. I just throw them in a standalone folder. So then I find that folder. There it is. So just drag that over. Drag it down, stick it right there. Hold down Control. Click on that far right edge, and you can extend it out. And this won't stay on for more than 3 minutes. Pretty sure. So there. I could put a transition between this and that, but I'm just gonna make it a hard transition. Just let it cut over. And you know what? That looks decent. What if we blew it up to take up the entire screen? Would it be blurry? No, it would not. That looks pretty sharp. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see what the transition looks like.
That question, if I may. First thing I want to say is that it's, to a certain extent, refreshing to watch your...
Now I'm just gonna skip I'm just listening to a few seconds at a time. I don't want to listen to the whole thing. It's just so goddamn time consuming. So I'm just gonna skip around and cross my fingers that I catch everything that needs to get cut. Not 99 times out of 100, that works just fine. Like if it's like a 2-hour video, oh man, I mean, just go by 30-second intervals. If a camera fell or someone spilled their drink or someone had to use the restroom, 30 seconds is enough time in the footage to know that, if someone says something they didn't want on camera, within a 30-second time frame, they're still talking about it. So anyway.
Video, and to see it with its...
See, he's still in the same train of thought here.
Let's decide, I really don't like the populace.
Yeah, he's still talking about the same stuff. So we'll go another 2 minutes on this graphic. But then we'd definitely have to switch out to something else.
We wouldn't be talking about this video today. But
Okay. Now he's talking about the actual video. This is where this is probably a good place. I'm going to cut right there. This is probably a good place to add a clip of the actual video that they're talking about. Which one are they talking about? Go to my channel. They're talking about our video on the Book of Hosea. And where was that? Book of Hosea. Wow. It wasn't that far back, was it? It might have been. Holy shit. No, it couldn't have been that far back. Let's go back to the beginning. And let's look at 50 instead of 30. Okay. Starting with the most recent. I know it's black and white, so I'm looking for that in the thumbnail. Hey, dumbass Jim, I hear you already guys saying, why don't you just search across your channel? Yeah. Yep, exactly. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's 7 minutes and 10 seconds long. I want to view it on YouTube.
One of the great challenges in this book.
Oh, Neil. I love when an actual science guy does ads instead of Pure Flicks, or Mormons or Scientologists love to advertise on our channel. Okay, so I'm going to copy. Wait. Back up. Now I'm going to a program called Clip Grab. Gotta have Clip Grab. Spelled just like it sounds. Takes a minute to come up. This is how you pull clips. This thing's constantly updating because YouTube doesn't like you to rip videos off their platform for download. So Clip Grab has to constantly update their software to make it interact. Okay, so, well, shit. Okay, copy the URL, go to Clip Grab. You get that little notice saying, hey, we found something that you'd like to, oh, yes, you did. Paste that right there. Grab this clip. I don't know why I'm doing this. I have it actually stored somewhere on my computer. In fact, before I do this, let me cancel. Let me see if because a lot of times, okay, we put out so many videos that I'm just not going to keep them stored on this laptop. It would eat up the memory, the storage space. So every month or two, this is where all the finished shows go. And these are all waiting. Now, see, it's already dumped over. Hosea. Yeah, the one on Hosea is, once this gets kind of big, I don't know, doubles in what it is now, and then I'll grab all these and dump them into a terabyte hard drive, which I'm starting my just finishing up the second terabyte hard drive right now, full of videos that are already done. All right, so it's not in there. So we're going to just go ahead and rip it for now, and then we can delete it later. All right, so grab this clip. We're going to stick it in. Since I'm not going to keep it, I've got it somewhere else already. We're just going to keep it where we keep all the other graphics and stuff for videos we're working on. That's going quick. Okay, that's usually not that quick. While that's working, we'll come back over here and I'll just listen ahead for a while.
How's God? Where most people think about is and the app, and that's sometimes what we're called to do, on the edge, and that's what Hosea was not. I don't know how.
Testament, Hosea included, where there seems to have been a period of time when prophets were all over the place, or insane. Ostensibly,
certain kind of stuff. Okay, I'm having to think on my feet. I'm going to say that we do have prophets, but did he speak to an axe head and have it flow?
Oh.
Speak to an axe head and have it flow.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Speak to, did he speak?
Okay, right there. He talks about a floating axe head. That would be a good graphic. That's actually in the Bible, one of the miracles in the Bible, supposedly. So I'll just take any old graphic and put it there as a marker. So when I get to that one, I know it's going to be floating axe head. So right now, I guess I could look up floating axe head. Images. Ooh, I think I've used that one before. That's a kind of a modern axe. Yeah, I'm just going to go with the same one that I've used a million times. See, I don't see it here. Sometimes it's down at the bottom. I don't know why it comes here down here at the bottom. I don't know. Oh, so let's go back to there. I'm going to put it right there. Remove that one, right click and remove it. Bring that one up to that spot. Stretch it out for at least, I don't know, 2 minutes. Can't really tell that it's an axe, so I'm going to just kind of shrink it down so you can see that it's an axe head floating. Here's kind of a cool thing. Let's try this. I'm going to find a background. Oh, what color would be good against that blue? It's a miracle, so we'll make some shiny miracle. We'll make shiny miracle background. Okay, so remember, the lower the track number, the farther in the background it is, right? We want these two, the subjects, as far forward as possible. So what I'm going to need to do is right here, cut this, bring it down to track 3. So we're going to end up using 3 tracks. So we want the background in the far back, right? So it's going to be track 1. So we're going to bring this axe head to track 2. Then this, I don't know, whatever, sparkly, stupid background. Stretch it out until it matches that. Fill the scene. That looks stupid. Anyway, we'll cut right here again and then bring that back up to track 2. So here's what you won't even be able to tell that it switched tracks.
You know, speak to, I don't know, did he speak to an axe head and have it float? No, I don't really think he did that either. But did he, on this earth, and virtue, I bet you he has some story.
Still an ancestor.
Yep.
This was recorded before before the quarantine, before the virus made it to the United States. But Chris was just getting over a cold, so he's got the sniffles and he coughs like this. Let's see if I can.
Those warriors that go out and help defend.
Let's see if I can cut his cough out.
Out there.
Okay, he's still talking, so it's gonna be a noticeable break. But I just don't want to get that cough in there. That Chris probably wouldn't want that in there anyway. So it's going to interrupt Mark's thought, but oh well. So I'm going to blow this up, zoom in, see if I can isolate where the cough is.
That's what a prophet is. A prophet's out there and out there.
I think it's, now here's where I'm looking right here. See it down there? This audio spike. So I think that's it right there. Yep, that's it. And he's done. Okay. From there to there. So I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to drag it over to there. And cut that. Right click and just remove that whole section of footage. So let's see what that looks like. It's going to be a total jump cut, though.
Out there,
he raises his hand. Maybe I'll get him raising his hand up. Cut that part out, too. cut again, remove some of this front end.
So Prophet's out. He.
Good enough. Okay, let's go back and see. Zoom back out. Where did we leave off? Up here, way on back. Okay, let's see if that book of the clip. See if the clip's ready. There it is. Drag it over. Okay, remember earlier we were talking about linking and unlinking the audio and video. This is where we're going to need to do this. So I'm going to drag that in. That's where... Oh, man. Okay. I don't want to mess with all this. I just did the floating axe head. So I'm going to go down and just work in track 4 for now. I'm just going to use selected. You know what? No. Take that back. I'm going to remove it. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's just... The hell did it go? Oh, there we go. We're just going to put it in here, and then when it comes up, I don't want to overwrite because that would mess up all this, so I'm going to just trim to fit. And then right-click on it. Unlink audio and video, then click on something else so they're not highlighted, and then just highlight, right click and just highlight the audio, get rid of that, leave the gap this time. All right, we'll square it up. That's taking up the whole screen, which might be cool, but you're not going to be able to see everything, so we'll just do it like this. Yeah, all right, see how that looks.
Had Hosea understood, because it's easily misunderstood.
The video they're talking about is playing in the background.
And
there seems to have been a period of time,
Which, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty goddamn funny.
You just don't. This doesn't seem to be.
But some have prophets.
Oh, and also since some people watching, stumbling on this video, haven't seen that video and would like to, so I'm gonna make a note now as I'm going, because you will not remember, so always take notes. I'm gonna make a note right now. Add original Hosea vid to description section. Also, while I'm thinking about it, let's go back to the very beginning. Oh, it was Anthony Magnabosco in the intro, right? So I'm gonna add Magnabosco link. So I'll link History to Epistemology, and I'll give him credit, you know, for the intro, and that shouts him out to put that link in the description section as well. Okay.
Not maybe in the way every out, you know, I don't know, did he speak to an axe head and have it float? No, I don't really think he did that either.
Jewish population.
Okay. I like to just remind people what channel they're on, so this is probably a good opportunity to throw in, just to remind them what they're watching. Do that for, let's say, 2 minutes.
Itinerant, but he could go around and talk to everyone, talk loudly in Jerusalem. We may have no idea. So how would we, and of course there's been false prophets for today. If God, barely, or someone's coming to,
I don't think.
Oh, you see that? That's he's taken quite a while to think. No big deal, but let's cut it out. You can see it plainly right there in the audio where there's just no sound, so this is easy. And you know what? Since that's the end of, pretty much the end of this graphic, we'll just cut it right there and make when he starts talking when we go on to something else.
I don't think, if you're asking, how do I know if this person is,
Let's put more of the video since we didn't play much of it last time. But we did use like the first, I don't know, we'll say 6 minutes. No, well, it's only 6 minutes long. Let me zoom out. We probably used at least the first 2 minutes of it. We'll say 3. So I'll cut the first 3 minutes off the old video. Right click, fill the gap, remove the audio, right click, link, unlink, unhighlight, right click, highlight just the audio. Let's put a transition right here. Transition room. Ooh, I gotta zoom in more because it's too small. Put it right there. This time, let's use, we'll double click on that. This time we'll make it blend over. The video will blend itself from one to the other. So we'll use that one. And here's what that looks like. It's a hard fade.
well, for one thing, I don't think, if you're asking how to...
Oh, I forgot to size that up. Try it again.
Well, for one thing, I don't think, if you're asking, how do I know if this person is of the Bible, assuming we could talk God of the more than just creation, the God of existence. So, the written word, in effect, consistently with Scripture, and those things come out, and all of a sudden you.
Oh, okay. So this is all the outtakes from the original video, and it's just audio, right? So it would just be a blank screen anyway.
Obscured, and,
So as soon as
and I know that
7
there's
Penis
all
Production
kinds of-
goes away right there, I will cut. I don't know what Mark's talking about right now, but until he says something that I can put a graphic up for, I will just put a little placeholder.
the word of Scripture. I was offered to do this. Relevance does it have to speak? Christians and Jews together have been brought together into one tree. We don't replace Israel. We don't. The Jews are still Jews. The Gentiles are still Gentiles. But we've been brought together in this tree, and the words that God has given to His people, they apply to me now. When God says, this, you are espoused to me, that becomes words that apply to me. And I get to participate in that, even though I am a Gentile. I get to participate in what God has done with His people. And so it's, to me, a bit ironic that you would choose this book, because so many times that, and He does it with the names of His kids, today we're still talking about it. And then finding them that my people, that's me. Okay, He's not talking so much.
He's talking symbolism of the names in the book of Hosea. So what I'll do right now is symbolism. Let's see if there's any images. Let's go back to all. Worst as a last resort, you can find something maybe in a reference in Wikipedia or Wikipedia itself. The summary of the Hosea story. I want to just cut that out and throw it on there. Just something for people to read. All right, so here's another program. Oh, this is a good. All right, this is good to know. It's called. Now there's many, but here's the one I use. Paint 3D. That's for Windows, but there's so many others that work the same way. Oh, let's go back to that. Print screen button. So print the screen, and then Control V, throw it on there. All right, so now we're cropping it. Cropped, save it into that folder, our working folder. Okay, let's find it. There it is. Drag it over to the workstation. He starts talking about the symbolism about right there. Okay, while it's here, I'm just going to click on that and cut that for later because this is going to take up the full screen. How long would it take to read all that? I'll think for an average reader, let's say 45 seconds. So we'll give it like a minute. Courtney says I leave it up there too long and people can hit pause, but I don't want people to have to hit pause. You can still hear Mark in the background. It doesn't matter to me. So we'll leave it up there for a full minute. Cut this back end. Now I'm going to right click on the actual raw footage, unlink the audio, leave the audio, and I'm going to make the video go away. Leave the gap so it doesn't fill in up here. Ooh, that's hard to read, isn't it? Maybe by the time, like when we're actually watching this.
Today we're still talking about it.
That'll probably, once that becomes of like a full screen, like people watching a regular YouTube video, they should be able to read that, hopefully.
And then God's there, atheist or to those who reject the scriptures, he's talking to me. God is saying to he could have done like that scene in 1917. Have you seen that movie yet?
Yes.
Isn't that, it's not the super greatest movie I've ever seen, but there's some really, I think, some good stuff in there. And the scene that I'm reminded of, you remember the two men, and I don't remember names, they've been through the German trenches, and now they're kind of in former land that the Germans held.
What movie is he talking about?
That I gave you. And yet, and this is what's so amazing. He could have done like that scene in 1917. Have you seen that movie yet?
Yes.
1917? That was a movie about World War I? I don't even know. Let's see. Well, shoot. And it was put out last year? Okay, so this has got to be what he's talking about. All right. Images. What's the resolution on this? 960? That should work. And this is probably copyright protected, but here's the reason I'm going to use it. Odds are, since it's promoting the movie anyway, no one's going to care. I say that, but this one image could be enough to demonetize the entire video. But the other thing is, the algorithm is looking for the exact photo or the exact song clip or the exact video clip, right? So when you put it in here behind two subjects that are moving, it throws the algorithm off anyway. And now I don't want to engage in theft. I want to do the right thing, but this is promoting the movie anyway. And there's no way the algorithm will pick that up with these people moving in the foreground.
Spoilers for 1917.
Oh, well, spoilers, yeah, I'm sorry. I hope.
Oh, there's spoilers for
We
1917,
haven't
so.
gotten there, but I feel like I'm doing my internet duty by putting that out there.
Yeah. And
So you see what I mean? The fact that there's people moving in this. Sometimes you see bootleggers, they'll take your favorite TV or show or long clips from a movie, and they post them to, in like part 1 through part 43. Like you can watch the whole movie, but it's 43 separate videos, but it's never full screen. It's always got some moving background, and then the movie itself only takes up this much of the screen, and that's to throw off the algorithm. Or sometimes they just slightly speed up the movie to where they kind of sound higher pitched, or they slow down the movie so they sound lower pitched, and that throws off.
he could have done like that scene and not.
Haven't gotten there, but I feel like I'm doing my internet duty.
Comes, I think, right through the barn where they were standing side in Wilmore, Water. This is a German guy trying to kill them. Okay, trying to. They rescue him out of the plane, wakes up, and he shoots him. My love, to end with, who are not my people, I will call them my people.
Okay. He's done talking about the movie right here. I thought I had I get tired of the same old graphics in the background. Oh, one of our old hosts, Lance, if you guys remember him, he moved on to do other things, but he used to brew beer, and he brewed a special selection of beer once. Wow, it takes a long time. But he brewed a special batch of beer, meeting the specifications of one RN Raw, and this was the label for his beer bottles. I thought that was pretty cool, and RN loved the beer. In fact, he ordered like 2 more cases to take down to Austin for some convention he was going to. Oh, let's see, where are we? Drag that over. Make it a hard transition. What do you guys prefer? That? You can't read the name, but you can see the whole panorama, or that? See, I'm thinking that. I don't know. All right. So we're at 22 minutes, and it's 28 minutes long, so 6 more.
I will call them my people. And you take all of the movie, bled him down the
Let me say this. I only use 1% of what this video software is capable of. There's so many other things, and depends on the video. Like when I'm making, like when we made this actual video, the Book of Hosea video itself, there was so many. I mean, we were 7 tracks deep, and there was 2 different audios going at the same time, like one kind of underneath, and then the voiceover on top of that, and so that was this is kind of a simpler video. There's so much more you can do, and I only probably know 1 to 5% of what this thing's capable of. A really hard thing is sometimes I'm filming at a large event. Someone comes up to me afterwards and says, "Hey, were you filming that?" "Yeah." I don't want my face on camera." "Oh, shit, really? Okay, so then I got to go back, and it's right here. It's fix and enhance, and these tools right here. I have to go in and blur out his face. So I'm not going to even show you how to do that right now. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube, but it's a pain in the ass. And every once in a while, like if the camera moves real fast, the motion tracker won't stay keep the blurriness on the person's face, so you got to go in and manually anyway.
Archers of the years, I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind. And in the midst of tears, I hid from him.
What is he on
And
now?
you take all of that, and it's like you're stabbing God. And instead, and with every right he has to shoot that guy down, exactly what the guy did from the in the movie. He says, this is what he says. I fled him down the nights, down the days. I fled him down the archers of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind. And in the midst of tears, I hid from him. And under the running laughter of this did...
Is he quoting this movie or the Bible? I fled him down the labyrinth. Oh, Francis Thompson? I mean, he must have referenced that earlier. Okay. Let's see if... Oh, hello. That's what he's reading, right? Yeah, has to be. Okay. Sometimes, oh, there it is. But sometimes if it doesn't show up and it's not down here, you just have to refresh it, hit back, and then forward again, and it'll show up. Where the hell did it go? Do you see it? I didn't drag it, did I? Okay. All right, where does he start? I won't use this one then. I'll use that one later. And I'll bring this over.
Years, I fled him down the...
Oh, that's kind of a pause. Too long of a pause. I'm going to take that pause out. That's just, you know, YouTube viewers are hey, I mean, a lot of us stop paying attention, have a short attention span, so
This is what he says. After upvisted hopes I sped and shot, precipitate feet that follow, deliberate they be. All things betray us to me. This thing just goes on. I plead.
okay. I'm going to cut that right there. Here's another little cool thing you can do. If you don't want, you want to keep him up, you want to be able to see him talking as they're reading this, because he's using a lot of emotion, and you know, you can tell he really likes this passage. So what we're going to do is highlight these two talking and put it down in a corner. So if you want to watch them, now highlight this and kind of move it over. Not all the way, because that, for some reason that just looks, I guess that would work. For some reason I like leaving a little black on this side too. Good enough. That should work. Let's see what that looks like.
I fled him down the nights, down the days. I fled him down the archers of the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind. And in the midst of tears, I hid from him. And under the running laughter of all things betray me. All things betray thee. You betray us to me. This thing just goes on. I pleaded. Across the mansion of the world, I fled. I sought no more after that which I strayed in the face of man or maid, but still within little children's eyes I sought, is what he did and thought. Like a bursting, piteous, futile thing. Where did clay save only me? Fancies as logs I have stored up for wrestling. Ah, fun, Thompson. This is what Hosea is all about. That we have driven God from us, and this is Hound of Heaven by Francis Thompson. This.
Okay, right there, I want to transition. And since it's the end of the video, we'll just put our go-to. Let people know what they've been watching. Stretch that out.
The greatest me. This is Hound of Heaven by Francis Thompson. This is what Hosea is all accomplished its purpose. Thanks be to God.
Interesting way to look at it. Yeah, we're approaching this literature from different sides, so I appreciate your perspective on bringing it to our show and let us see where maybe there's some public-facing.
Being able to educate your warrior program.
Now, okay. This is where he's probably going to ask him about plugs and stuff. So I need to take notes here so I can put anything that Mark wants, any of his plugs and links need to go in the description section. So here's where I'm paying attention to anything he says.
Yeah, you're talking about now my stuff?
Yeah.
Is that, okay. Yeah, if you want, if there's any Christians on here that are interested in being able to educate your kids to talk coherently in a setting such as this, consider the classes that I teach. I teach worldview studies.
Mark Woolsey, worldview studies, and that's a worldview, separate words. I just remember from last time he was on our show. So keep track of that. Find that link and I'll put it in later.
It's a 4-year program. You can find me on worldviewstudies.org. Got to think about that for a second. Or you can find me on Facebook.
Watch this. I sometimes do this. Usually I just put it in the description section, but right where he says.
And you can find.
Let's just find it for right now. It's world. .org. Oh, yeah, okay. This is his site. All right, now I could just right in the description section, I could just type in www.worldviewstudies.org, but it might be a more concise, a smaller link, smaller URL if you go to the actual site and just copy it like that. But I'm going to leave this one up, so when it's time to put it in the description section.
Find me on worldviewstudies.org. We do academics and we dance, so look up stuff on dancing.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on Atheist Edge.
Were we too loud?
Cut.
Okay. So this is the end of the show right there. I'm going to cut that one and this one. But now I'm going to remove and leave gap, because in this spot right here is when we're going to hawk our merchandise or our Patreon or something. But now let's do audio. Well, I'm going to put some audio on the back end. So I've got a special folder just called audio. Now this is all royalty free audio. You can find it in the YouTube studio. There's shit tons. So, and you can find, you can search by length of the audio you want, the style, the genre, the type of instrument, the tone, everything. So I can just tell by I've used these so many times, I can tell if I've got, like hard rock musician on the show, I'll use something harder. Or like if Aaron Ra is in studio, I'm going to use hard music. This one, I'm going to try to get as close to cathedral organ music as possible. Well, secret conversations. Let's see what that one sounds like. Slow. Good enough. Secret conversations. Okay, I'm going to zoom way out so I can see the whole audio. And now, remember at the beginning, none of this was funny. This part right here.
Sure, I need some. Okay, give me just.
It's just him wanting some time to gather his thoughts before he starts the show, so it's gone. But if this were funny stuff, I would break this up and turn it into outtakes where you'd watch maybe a couple seconds of us hawking our merch, and then a short funny clip, and then it would transition back and forth until the end of the show. But that's not going to happen today. So getting rid of all that.
Worldview studies. So, look up stuff on dancing.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on Atheist Edge.
Okay, it really stops right about there. Cut off that. That's probably dead air anyway. I don't want this to last too long. Let's go to see what we're going to shill today. Either Patreon or merchandise. We'll do Patreon this time. All right, so that goes there. And that's plenty long enough right there to let people know about the Patreon. But we'll just extend it just a little bit. Give people enough time to see the link if they want to donate, but not too much to where it looks like we're just selling out. I don't know. All right, now. Okay, audio mixing. This button right over here on the left, audio mixing room. See, this audio is down in track 3, so I'm going to just bring it down. I don't want it to overwhelm their talking, so I like to bring it to a 28. I'm going to bring this side down to a 28 as well. Okay, let's see how that sounds.
I did but take, not for the pulse, but I and he. We have driven God from us.
See where maybe.
If there's any quick want credited, viewstudies.org. Gotta think about that for a second. Or you can find me on Facebook.
Yeah, you can barely hear that, but it's still good. They know it's there. And then usually right around the time the host starts wrapping it up, I move it up to a 21. The hell am I doing with my life? Okay. See what that looks like.
Parents. Second, or you can find me on Facebook at Worldview Studies. So, we take trips to Europe, we do academics, and we dance. So look up stuff on dancing.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on Atheist Edge.
You can barely hear that. Anyway, sometimes it's louder than that. This is just a really soft song. No biggie. Okay. You don't have to do this, but I just cut this audio and bring it up to match this still graphic. For some reason, the transition works better. We're going to use this transition. It's kind of a goodbye. Courtney hates it, but she thinks it's old school. And we'll leave that a hard break for Courtney after the video. So it looks like this.
Everyone, we'll see you next time on Atheist Edge.
And that's that. Okay. Well, that's the end of step one now. Now I kind of zoom out.
Anthony Magnabosco
And this
here.
is where I'm just going to go through the whole thing really quickly and check to make sure all the transitions and everything looks good.
And you're watching Atheist Edge.
Hi, welcome back to Atheist Edge. We are joined today by Mark Woolsey, friend.
He didn't do that, and did he, speak to, I don't know, did he speak to an axe head and have it, you're going to attribute to, that's what a prophet is. A prophet's out, he
Being a little bit itinerant, but
I don't think, if you're asking, how do I know ill? And he does it with the names of his kids. Today we're still talking about him. This is what he says. Goes on, I pleaded, all which I took from thee,
All right, that looks like it'll work. Okay, so now I think that we're done. Is there anything else I wanted to do to this? No, we're done. Okay, up here, produce. Figure out where to save it. I save all the finished videos right here. These are all the ones that are finished, but they're not out yet. So once they go out, once they become public, then I take these, I put them onto the other platforms that don't automatically, like Stitcher and iTunes, it automatically gets uploaded there. I don't have to do it. But like Facebook, I have to manually re-upload on Facebook. Once that's done and it's everywhere I want it to be, then I'll move this over to finished shows, and that's where these just sit and wait to go to a terabyte hard drive once it fills up enough. So for now, it's going to go here. We're going to call it now. This is important for search engine optimization. I didn't know this until I think it was Steve McRae that told me what you named the video also gets seen by the algorithm, and it can affect where your video appears in, like suggested, people's suggested videos. So it's important to put, that's why these titles are so long. I want everything about it in the actual name of the file. So this is Hosea, symbolism, Mark Woolsey. Chris was the host. Shoot, I probably could put more, but that's good enough. Yeah, that's the right spot. Start. Okay, now that is going to, we'll see, let it start thinking. This is producing, it's rendering. 28 minutes, it's going to take roughly an hour and a half to render completely. So I'm going to stop tape, and then I will show you what to do with it once you have the finished video. And then uploading it to YouTube. Okay, we're back. There's still, oh, now it's an hour and 49 minutes remaining. It's 7 minutes rendered out of the 28 total. All right, so while we're waiting, I thought we would go ahead. Now, Chris usually makes our thumbnails because he's so much better than me, but I'll show you how I do it. Sometimes he gets overloaded. Although we're only putting out one video a week now, it's easy for him to handle, but there was a time when, back when I was a full-time host of the show, we were cranking out 3-4 videos a week. So I would carry the load a little bit on thumbnails. But anyway, this is a program called GIMP, G-I-M-P. And this is what I use. So what we'll do is, I'll be using Canva also. I'll show you that in a minute. But we'll go to, for this, I don't even know what the thumbnail is going to be, but I know it should include probably, let's do Chris and Mark in this one. We'll cut them out, how to crop them completely out. So we're going to go to the video that we just did. What was it called? Oh, there it is, right here. All right, so we'll bring that up. This, even though it's being rendered, it doesn't hurt to pull this up and watch it, even though it's being used for the cyberlink right now. Taking forever, taking forever. Oh, hello. That's not a good sign. What the hell just happened there? Let's make sure this is still rendering right. Okay, I don't want to mess with that. Okay. Let's go to an old video. See if we can find one that has him in it. Maybe it's in finished shows. Was he? Oh, Mark Woolsey. This is the one I did with him, an older video. We'll just pull him out. He'll be the only one on the thumbnail. No host. So we're just gonna.
Hi, I'm Scientist Mel, and you are watching Atheist Edge.
Like tall
I'm just gonna get a good still of him.
people and other people say, I really like short people. I don't think that shortism or tallism.
Ooh, maybe one of him laughing would be good. But we don't want it blurry. Him wagging his finger at me. Ooh, that might be a good one. What do you guys think of that? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to print screen. And I'm going to leave this. This is back to Paint 3D. New. Control V. I'll just leave it just as is. Save it to the desktop. Okay, right click down on the toolbar, show the desktop. That clears everything out. There's the photo we want. All right, so bring up GIMP. Slide over that photo. Okay, ready to work. I want to blow this up. It's at 66% right now. I'm going to blow it up to at least 200. 200 will probably work. Okay, so first thing you do, GIMP is free, so I'm all about free. Go to layer, then transparency, add alpha channel. Got to do that. Then use this lasso tool right here and start cutting. Left click. Now there's a way to feather it. you see a lot of YouTube videos. You see how like there's a usually white, fuzzy border around the subject. That's a very popular way to do a thumbnail. It's got like this white kind of blurry border around them. For some reason, that's very popular. Okay, that's too far out. I screwed that one up. So when you do that, you can click on it and you can drag it where you need it to go. Let's say I go way out here. Oh man, I really screwed up. Then you can just click and drag it and bring it over where you need it to go. And I go way too fast doing this. If you're going for super high production quality, basically, the more time you put into it, the better it's going to look. That one's too far out. Bring it back in. Well, that's where he cuts off, so that's where I'm going to have to cut off. Want to get some of that cross in there, definitely. All right, there's a space right here. See that space? There's a background behind him. We're going to cut that out after we're done with this. It adds for, we could leave it in there, but if the background on the thumbnail is not black, you would definitely be able to see that it just looks more pro when you cut that daylight out. Okay, then when you're at the very end, you click back on your original one, and that makes it all go kind of, see it's moving. And before you do anything, I've screwed this up a million times. If you hit delete right now, Mark goes away and everything else stays, like I would stay. But what you want to do now is go up to select up here, select, invert. So now when you hit the delete button, Mark stays. Otherwise, everything but Mark would have stayed. So we're done. There's him cropped out. Go to File, Export As. This is very important here. And again, I've screwed this up a million times. I'm just going to save it as a temporary photo right now, but this has to end in .png. If it's .jpeg, you've got to actually manually type in here .png. Also, down here, select file type. You got to put PNG. There it is. And then export. Yeah, it already exists because it's the same name as the original crop. Export it. Where is that going to go? To the desktop? Okay. While it's doing its thing, we are going to Canva. Canva.com. Again, it's free. When you're retiree on a fixed budget, free is beautiful. Alrighty. Alright, just gonna find start a new one. I'll just delete that one. I can delete all these. Okay. Wow, okay. There. We got a nice clean working surface. I'm gonna upload over here, upload a new image. It was on the desktop, and there it is. Pull it in. Now, what kind of background color do we want? Oh, you know what? We want that Book of Hosea again, don't we? There's Song of Solomon. There's Isaiah. Where's that one we used in the video? I'm not 100% sure it's copyright free though. I'm going to roll the dice. Okay. Now there's another program. Okay, if I want to add text to this, there's another program. I do it from my phone. So once I've made this and I want to add text to it, I forget the name of the program. It's a text adding program. There's a million of them. I send it to myself so I can pull it up on my phone. Then I add the text and I send it back to my laptop. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I just like the one on my phone. It's got cool fonts and whatnot. This one will just go with no text. It'll just be him looking at the Bible. So we just stick it in there, size it up. Now this is already set. Canva, you can set it to be any dimensions you want. And it's already preset. So if you want a YouTube thumbnail, there's an actual, you click on it and it will give you the exact specifications for a perfect YouTube thumbnail size, or a YouTube cover art for your main page, or a Facebook cover art, or anything. I mean, and it's already preset. So this one's already set up to be the perfect size for a YouTube thumbnail. And get them as big as possible. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Wait a second. That looks like it might work. Yeah, that could work. We got us crossing there, right? Yep, okay. You know what? I might add text to that later, but for now, let's just call this the thumbnail. Download it right here. And what page was that? You don't want to this would download every page on here, so that Atheist Edge up there would get downloaded. So we want just page 2. And it goes to your downloads. So after it's done, you got to pull it out. I like to pull it out go to the folder. The very first thumbnail I did was an old video with Dom B, the Dom B podcast. For some reason, it just makes that the default now for some reason. So anyway, I'm going to rename it. Mark, and this was with Chris, right? And it was on Hosea. Okay, so I'm going to cut it because I have a special folder where all the cover art goes, at least temporarily, until it gets uploaded to every platform I want. Then it gets deleted. You know why it's taking so long? Because we are still rendering over here, and it's just sucking all the power out of slowing down every other program. All right, there it is. So it is done, ready to go. We still have an hour and 37 minutes, so I'll see you when that's over. All right, well, you can see right here, it actually took 4 hours and 21 minutes to render the video, so it's done now. What to do next? We made the thumbnail. So we're going to go ahead and upload it. Right here, create, upload video. I'm going to find it. This one. All right, what do we call it? Title is very important. You don't want to be clickbait, but you still want to make it exciting, something that a viewer would want to click on. Um, Book of Hosea video. Okay, now remember all those notes we took? Okay, oh, wait. All this? See how it automatically got filled? And so it's got all our 23 commandments. It's got little begging for likes and subs. It's got books. It should have, yeah, Chris's blog, our merch site, disclaimer, letting everyone know, hey, if you disagree with one of us, there's two others. All our plugs. And yeah, so that automatically gets put in there. Over here, you see right here, settings. This is the YouTube studio in the back. Go to that settings and then go to upload defaults. And you can put in all this in every video you create. It'll automatically get put in there. All right, so that looks, oh, okay. So you remember all those notes we took? That's what we're going to do now. So the first one is add original Hosea video to the description section. Let's go find the original Hosea video. Good Lord, the internet's slow. Okay. I'll just put Hosea here again. That's the one getting uploaded. This is it right here. So copy that URL.
One of the great challenges in this.
All right. Back to here. It's hard to type with this tripod in the way. Okay, that's a link to the video, the original video. Oh, the intro is next. Let's find it. $50,000 subscribers. And I think he's got several channels. He's got one just for street epistemology. Oh, wait, I don't know. I know there's several Facebook pages, all different types of street epistemology too. Okay. Link to his channel. Good enough. What's next? Oh, Mark Woolsey. And worldview studies. It's like homeschool tutoring, I think. I don't know. He's a good guy. That's why we keep having him on. Pleasant to talk to. He's got some interesting ideas, of course. I like how Chris deals with him in a very tactful way, but still challenging him. And I guess he does the same for us. And the last thing, I'm not going to put in the description section, but if you guys remember, I said I wasn't going to add text to that thumbnail. Well, I went ahead and did it during that 4 hours of waiting. So it looks like that now. Dissecting Hosea I put on there. And the app I used for that, okay, so I do it. I send it to myself on my phone. And I pull it up in this app. The app is called Add Text. add text. It's a blue T with a plus sign. You can find it in the iTunes, the whatever Apple version of the Google Play Store, but add text. It's got some good fonts. This font is my go-to. I'll pull it up in a minute. There it is. So I like this font. I don't know. Kind of jumps out at you. You can add border. Chris doesn't like this font, but for some reason I like it. Okay. Is this going to go in any playlist? No, it will not. We got tons of playlists we could put it in, but none of them fit this. All right, more options down here. You can go ahead and do this. Now these are tags that are already put in through the default upload. So this one, since Mark is a Reformed Episcopalian Church. All right. Book of Hosea. You just hit a comma and it goes to the next one. Book of Hosea, Old Testament, maybe. I guess that's good. Recording date. This was recorded on March. I don't usually put recording date, but since this was recorded like a month ago, March 7th, and today is April 5th, I want everyone to know, listen, we're not ignoring the quarantine suggestions. This was way before the disease ever got to this United States. All right, that's good for now. Hit next. Monetization on. I can't do anything yet until the video is uploaded, but after it's uploaded and processed, you can add a video for after the video, an advertisement. Oh, it just went. I didn't even click on that. It'll give you other options once the video gets processed. You can go in and manually put in, because it will automatically generate ads in the video. But if you don't like where they are, you can move them around, delete or add. You can put as many ads as you want in your video. The deal is you don't want to put too many, because it pisses off the viewers. You know, if you got one every 5 minutes, they're going to be like, screw this, and they're not going to watch your shit. So it's a fine line. You know, this is a 28-minute video. I'll put maybe 2 ads in there. One, see, the average length that people watch any video, no matter how long it is, the average length is only between 6 and 12 minutes. So I'm going to put one right there around the 6-minute mark. Then after that, I give them a long time to watch, and maybe put one around the 25-minute mark. If they're watching for that long, they'll watch for 3 more minutes. And next. So you do all that. Now this right here, if you're good about answering this next questionnaire, if the algorithm agrees with you, you get a good rating. So you want to keep this green. Mine's been red before, where it says, hey, it looks like you screwed up. Like, we found some stuff that you didn't disclose, which I'm not trying to be shady. It's just that I answer the questionnaire the way I think it should be answered, and sometimes they disagree with me. But you want this to stay green. That gets your videos. It streamlines your ability to generate revenue. So here's the questionnaire. You know what? Now I got to go back and think, because Chris doesn't really cuss a lot, and I know Mark doesn't at all. I'm thinking they didn't even cuss at all, because usually I click this, light profanity. So basically checking this means if you say the F word, it's got to be way far into the video. It can't be at the opening. And, but I don't think they cursed at all. So I'm going to leave that. Sometimes if we're talking about like sexual education, you might have to click one of these, and even if you click this one, it's still safe for advertisements. And what's the, marginalized groups. Sometimes I hit this one. If we're talking about how, say, LGBT groups, like, acts, hateful, harmful acts that are done to the LGBT community, or we just did one on the Jews. Why people hate the Jews. I had to click this. References to a marginalized group in a non-hurtful manner, as part of a, just education. But it's still safe for ads usually. You be as honest as you can. But I'm going to go ahead. It's very rare, but I'm going to click none of the above. So that's automatic revenue. I mean, that's automatic monetization. As long as maybe Chris said shit or, I know he didn't drop an F-bomb. Okay, all these, I'm not going to show you in this video, but after the video renders, processes, you can add an end screen and cards. Cards are, when you're watching a video and on the top right, a little information thing pops up, a little banner, and says, hey, click on this, it's like suggested videos or a poll or playlist. You can add those. And the end screen is all the videos that you can, at the very end, the last 10 seconds of the video, like little boxes will pop up at the end. You can click on those and, hey, go try out this. If you like this video, go try this one, whatever. So I'll do that one later. All right. So I always save as unlisted because, like, as soon as this one processes, this won't go out for probably at least a month. But I'll give Mark a heads up. Hey, I'm done with it. If you want to take a look at it as kind of a sneak preview before it hits the streets. So I leave it. If you make it private, you can't share the link. It just stays in your folder. But if you make it unlisted, if they have the link, they'll be able to watch it even though it's not public on YouTube. And so I'll save it as unlisted for now until it goes public, and then you can set it as a premiere, which we usually do. And we set it for, like the next, I'll put it out. I'll set it up as a premiere that night before, and it'll go out the next morning, next afternoon. Give people a chance to click on that bell and hit the reminder so they know it's coming up. And that's all I can do for now. So it's still got 29 minutes left to upload, and then it'll process after that. But you can see it here, and there it is. And we've been pretty lucky here. The last few videos have stayed monetized, which is kind of rare. The last one that didn't was this one. I have no idea. Oh, we talked a lot about, it was like the little game show, and there was a lot of sexual questions in it from the Old Testament. And of course, boom, limited. So it's still making some revenue, but only 380 views anyway. It's not like we're making a ton of money anyway. All right, well, that's that. Hope you learned something, and maybe you can teach me something in the comment section. I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I'm doing like the long way. And if you're just going to tell me how slow my computer is, I already know. What else? Yeah, I'll probably learn a lot myself. But leave a comment. Tell me how you like this or if it helped you at all. All right.